This is iDesign Lab, a podcast where creativity and curiosity meet style and design. Curator of interiors, furnishings, and lifestyles. Hosted by Tiffany Woolley, an interior designer and a style enthusiast, along with her serial entrepreneur husband, Scott. iDesign Lab is your ultimate design podcast, where we explore the rich and vibrant world of design and its constant evolution in style and trends.
Welcome to the iDesign Lab podcast. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Scott.
And today we're talking about something that affects every one of us every single day, whether we realize this or not. And it's the spaces that we live in, work in, travel to, and spend our time in.
And we're asking a question that sounds simple, but it's actually pretty fascinating. Can design make you happier?
Well, most people think happiness comes from relationships, experiences, accomplishments, and the people you spend your time with, of children and family. And of course, those things are so important and they do matter.
Right. But what if the spaces around us are helping shape those experiences? What if great design is quietly improving the mood every single day, or our mood every single day? Think about that.
Yeah, no, and we've had these conversations, a lot here, so we definitely think about them. So we wanted to kind of put it back out there to you. Think about it. We've all walked into places that instantly feel welcoming and comfortable.
And we've all walked into places that feel cold, stressful,
dirty,
confusing, and uncomfortable. I mean, the difference is often design.
Right. So why is it that some of these places instantly feel good? Start with the experiences that we all have. Have you ever walked into a place and immediately thought, I really like here, I don't want to leave? That's me mostly when we arrive at a hotel. But you weren't analyzing anything. It just felt so good.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's the hotel lobby. You walk in and it's like, wow. Sometimes it's the coffee shop. Sometimes it's just, going into a friend's house that's redone their house, and you're like, oh my God. Within seconds, you feel like this space is making me feel good.
Right, and things start to make sense.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is that your brain is processing all these little details immediately, like lighting, color, layout, furniture. It all sounds good around you.
And all of these details combined to create an emotional reaction. That's why
one you're not even aware of.
Right.
Really.
And that's why two spaces can serve the same exact purpose, but feel completely different.
Right. So one room makes you want to stay for hours,
while the other makes you want to leave as quickly as possible.
For me, that's normally to do with smells and cleanliness. But the interesting part is that people don't always notice that reason being the design itself.
Right. They simply notice how they feel. And that's the often sign of a great design.
Right. It's not a conscious, here it is. So if there was one design element that has a huge impact on happiness, well, it's most obvious to be lighting.
I would say.
Natural lighting, true.
I couldn't agree. Lighting, absolutely. Think about how different you feel on a bright sunny day compared to a dark, gloomy afternoon.
Correct. Most people naturally gravitate towards spaces with sunlight. That's one of the biggest things clients always say is, I don't want to block the light. I want to keep the natural light because there is something so warm. And homes with big windows often feel larger. They feel brighter and they feel so welcoming.
That's one of the reasons why people pay extra for rooms with views, looking out at the ocean or the mountain or the skyline or a garden. People are drawn to the light and the openness and the outdoorsy as well. In
luxury resorts, they've tapped into this and they understand it incredibly well. That's why they don't hide their best views.
I always joke because every hotel you go to, They price the rooms by the view,
garden view, the
or
pool
the beach
view,
and
the
you're paying
beach
more
view,
for the view. They showcase them. The view becomes part of the experience.
And it is part of the design and the mood, of your vacation. So that same principle we just spoke about can reflect in homes as well. So by opening up space to more natural light completely changes how one feels in a space.
And often those changes improve, your mood without people even realizing it.
So yes, your house can make you happier. And speaking of light, let's talk about nature, because that's another huge part of happiness. Because when you have a strong connection between light and nature,
the two of them,
the combination sparks joy.
Yeah, there really is. The humans, nature seems to naturally draw. Humans naturally are drawn, to nature.
And as we just mentioned, hotels being driven by that, think alone, vacations alike are focused on that. Do you want to go on a beach vacation? Do you want a lake vacation, skiing in the mountains or hiking, forest parks? But nature is driven.
Or even sometimes a simple outdoor cafe where you can sit under a tree and enjoy the weather. I mean, look at us. We're always, especially when it's a beautiful day, we want to sit outside.
Want to go
outside. Going
outside.
Somewhere.
Right. And that's what happens too when we spend too much time of our life indoors. We can lose that connection to nature, and nature makes us feel refreshed. So and
it's also one of the reasons why designers increasingly are bringing natural elements, inside: plants, wood, stone, water features, natural textures, and it all helps create a sense of calm, especially in a home.
Definitely. I kind of call it like eco chic, just because you want to bring all those natural textures and feels into a design of a space. So something as simple as adding a plant to a room can make a room immediately feel alive because there's a living thing in the room.
And nature has a way of softening spaces and making them feel more human. I mean, I personally believe that very strongly.
Another fascinating part of design is color.
Yeah, color affects us whether we realize it or not, every day in every situation.
Some colors feel calm and relaxing, others feel energetic and exciting, and some spaces with color feel warm and cozy.
And while there isn't one perfect formula, there are definitely colors that create, direct emotional responses.
And that's why great designers don't choose colors randomly.
Yeah, every choice helps create certain feelings or an atmosphere.
Right. Think about your favorite hotel or restaurant.
Yeah, chances are the color palette was selected very intentionally.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because color becomes part of that whole experience.
And the greatest experiences are often built with hundreds of small little decisions.
So let's zoom out from individual buildings now and talk about cities.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite parts of the conversation that we're going to have, because everybody has a city that they love.
Definitely. And when you ask people why they love a city, they often struggle to explain it in just words.
Yeah, they'll say it has a great energy, a great vibe, or a certain vibe.
But that feeling is often connected to design.
Yeah, absolutely. Walkable streets.
Public parks.
Interesting, great architecture.
Of course, and the cafes and details.
Old architecture. I just loved old architecture in different
places in the little cities or towns where people naturally gather, where you can just see things happening, good energy.
And all of these experiences often lead to happiness.
So that brings us a neighborhood situation, the effects the neighborhood could have.
Absolutely. Some neighborhoods seem to encourage community while others feel so disconnected.
Like having no sidewalks. Anyway, think about neighborhoods with sidewalks, parks, local businesses, and public gathering spaces.
People naturally spend more time outside and interact with each other in those kind of environments.
Absolutely, for sure. And now if you compare that to spaces where every activity requires driving somewhere, getting into a car.
The experience feels quite a bit different.
And isolating. So design doesn't just influence buildings and neighborhoods.
It influences how people interact with one another.
So if you kind of think about Disney being like the happiest place on earth, they clearly understood happiness. Let's talk about a company that understands emotional design better than anyone. Walt Disney.
Yeah, Disney, it's fascinating because they didn't just simply design attractions, they designed an experience from the beginning to the end.
So many facets. Every detail matters.
The music that plays while you're walking around.
Yep. The landscaping.
The architecture and how everything just flows from one thing to the other.
It's a storytelling from minute you enter, from beginning to end.
Even the way, guests move through the park have been so carefully considered.
I know, and it's really remarkable that people leave with memories and emotions, not just those photographs.
Yeah, but that's why, because Disney understands that people remember how experiences make them feel. I certainly feel that Disney looked at this years ago. I don't know if it's the same today.
It would be fun to dive into that, wouldn't it? The history of Disney and design.
Yes.
I think we might have to tap into that.
That could be a podcast in itself.
I know. I mean, it's really so interesting. And Disney can be expanded into the hotel experience, which goes on to the multiple luxury hotels. They truly understand this concept too, from beginning to end.
When people talk about a great hotel stay, they really start talking about the furniture.
Well, I kind of do, but they talk about how relaxed they feel from that moment they arrive.
And how welcome they feel.
And comfortable.
And how special they feel.
Like they're being taken care of. That's because luxury is so much more than about an experience than just things.
Yeah, the experience is sometimes something that can be designed.
And where there's design is a happiness, because it's a conscious effort. So let's bring this conversation back into your home, because that's where we can actually apply some of these ideas.
I think one of the biggest mistakes people make in designing their home or their homes is based entirely on trends.
Right. And we do talk about this quite a lot, about what's popular. Maybe we should ask, instead of popularity or what's on trend, is really what makes one happy.
Exactly. Maybe you love books.
Maybe you love art.
Yeah, maybe you love just natural light.
And comfortable nooks and crannies where families gather, play games.
Right. And the goal shouldn't be creating a home that looks like everyone else's at all.
No, you want destinations. The goal is to creating a home that just feels right for you.
I think and believe the happiest homes usually aren't the most expensive homes at all.
I think most people would agree. They're the homes that reflect the people who live in them.
Yep, absolutely.
One thing I've realized is that happiness isn't always connected to luxury.
I agree completely, because some of the happiest places I've ever experienced were actually very simple, extremely.
And what that was comfort.
Comfort and connection.
Character.
Yeah, and a sense of belonging.
So great design supports all of these feelings.
And when it does, it generally improves everyday life. So
design, can it make you happier?
Maybe design doesn't alone make you and create happiness, but it can absolutely support.
I agree. It supports happiness. It reduces stress.
Increases, being comfortable.
Encourages connection with destinations and seating groupings.
And it helps create an experience, that people generally enjoy.
The more space around us matters, the more we can realize it.
Because great design isn't just about something that looks great.
Nope. It starts with how one feels.
And that might be the most important design lesson of all, right, Tiffany?
Yep. It's not just how it looks, but it's got to feel fantastic too. So thanks for joining us today on iDesign Lab for our tidbit.
And follow us on our website.
Subscribe, YouTube.
And click that little button below.
Thumbs up, please. Have a great day.
iDesign Labs podcast is an SW Group production in association with the 5-Star and TW Interiors. To learn more about iDesign Lab or TW Interiors, please visit twinteriors.com.